Hi, my name is Julia. I'm from Cork, here in Ireland, and I'm 19 years old. I grew up in a Catholic household, and I practiced since childhood, so I'm also known as a cradle Catholic. Growing up with my family, we went to Mass every Sunday, and like all other kids in my class, I received my Holy Communion and my confirmation. And though these were important days, I had little understanding of what I was receiving. It was more about the money and about the party. So I never knew the sacraments very well. I never had to question if God was real. In fact, the first time I heard a girl in my class say she didn't believe in God, I thought she was crazy, because I couldn't conceive the fact that God wouldn't be real, because without God, even at that age, I knew life would have no meaning. Though I had a strong belief in God, I rarely thought about him, and my prayer life consisted of morning prayer in school while half asleep and 3 Hail Marys before bed. So it wasn't great, but it was better than nothing. A seed of faith had been planted in me since childhood, and I remember one specific event in my life that rooted in me the importance of going to Mass from a young age. It was my friend's 9th birthday, and everyone was going to a sleepover on the Saturday evening, and then planned to go somewhere fun Sunday afternoon. It just so happened that my family could not make Saturday evening Mass, so it would have to be Sunday. So instead of staying over for the sleepover, my mother told me that I could not stay, even though I begged. She told me that Mass was an absolute necessity. Even though I was slightly upset from this, because the sleepover would be absolute peak happiness, I knew that there was something about Mass that was important, because my mom made sure it was very important, and she always made sure I never missed Mass. And so by the time I went into first year then, I didn't pray at all, and unlike my friends in school, I went to Mass every Sunday. But it wasn't like I knew what was going on at Mass at all. All I knew is that after you knelt down for communion, and after there was only 5 minutes left after communion, that's all I knew. I wasn't really living a virtuous lifestyle in the way I spoke and the way I treated others. I knew that things I was doing were sinful, but all my friends were doing the same things, so I thought it was okay, and I wanted to fit in and to be normal. My mother is committed to a weekly holy hour, and it just so happened one day when I was 14 that I decided to come along, probably because she was going to promise me coffee afterwards. And so I'd never been to adoration before, and it was the first time I was before the Eucharist in the monstrance, and there was nothing to distract me. And it was then that I realized that people truly believed that Jesus was in the Eucharist. This small moment, this small hour of silent time before the monstrance nourished my relationship with God, and questions about who Jesus was and what my Catholic faith taught began to stir within me. And so the seed of faith began to grow within me. My mother was always listening to Catholic podcasts and talks. She used to play them out loud as she worked in the kitchen and throughout the house. I used to find these videos extremely annoying, as you couldn't escape the constant sound of some priest or religious talking through the phone. Yet I found myself turning to these kind of videos to answer certain questions I had on the faith. I watched 1 or 2 of Father Mike Schmidt's videos for some small questions I had, and then before I knew it, I was watching every single video I could find with him on it. Like a great mosaic, learning lots of little things about the faith brought together the bigger picture. The more I unearthed about the faith, the more I put it into practice. 2 years from this, I then attended my first faith summer camp. It was called Camp Crediv, and it was the first time I had met other young Catholics who truly wanted to know Jesus. It was located off the coast of Cork, and we went kayaking, pier jumping, and we had campfires and went on hikes during sunset. We prayed the rosary as well, and we also had Mass and Bible study each day. I made genuine friends, and it opened up a whole new world for me, as I had not known that there were other young Catholics out there who had a zeal for knowing Christ like I did. After that summer camp, I attended my first U2000 retreat, the summer of 2022. From then on, I continued to make new friends for whom I didn't have to make moral compromises with, to get along with. The Lord had provided friends for me so I could experience faith and friendship outside the family. This gift gave me a sense of unity with the Church, and I began to feel connected to the community of Catholics living here in Ireland. And so I continued going to U2000 retreats, And then after my Leaving Cert, I had decided to apply for Holy Family Mission. So here I am, and so far, this is better than I have ever could have imagined. I love living with other young Catholics and having time to invest in my relationship with Jesus. I'm not a big fan of early mornings or early nights, but I normally have to set 5 reminders to be on time for anything, but I'm really trying my best. Thank you for your prayers and your support. God bless.